after further review.
Yo, what's going on, everyone? Back at it after further review. You already know, follow us at AFR Show Pod on the socials, this, that, and the other thing. I'm being as fake as I can be right now, being super pissed off about the Phillies. But how's everyone else doing today?
I'm still going through it too. I'm experiencing it.
Yeah, I'm doing good. I went through it a while ago, but I understand.
What's on the
Yeah.
schedule for today? I do have a guest player, but what's on
Yeah.
tap for the rest of the show?
Yeah, so we got there's so many sports going on, so we're not gonna talk everything because we could be here for hours. But first I think we want to kind of touch on, just some of the baseball stuff. Obviously NLCS, ALCS just kind of ended. Two game sevens, some wild series. And then Saudi Baseball League, which if you guys haven't heard, some crazy names we just kind of want to run through. And we always like those throwback names. So we're going to dive into that a little bit. NBA starting, so we want to just talk about our bracket and kind of what we think, and then just going to go into some UFC and see where the conversation takes us.
I like it. Yeah, we can dive in here in a second. But you guys, we haven't done a guest player in a minute. Are you guys ready for this?
I'm so ready.
Oh, let's do it.
All right, one guess each. Y'all know the rules until we both miss, obviously. But I don't think you're gonna miss. I played in the MLB. I started my career in 2008.
Oh,
Okay.
I played for 6 seasons in the MLB. I wore the numbers 3, 30, and 6 throughout my career.
Oh,
The two teams I played for are the Phillies and the Indians. I am a catcher.
okay. I think I know who this is.
Next is the initials. You want me to just go for the initials or you want to make your guess now?
I'll make my guess. I'll go for it.
All right.
All right. Is it Sweet Lou Marson?
Yes, Chase.
that's a good one.
We saw him at Reading. Remember that one time?
I
He crushed like
know.
a home run.
During these Phillies series, I was like hype. I wanted to go back. We talked to Sam last week, and I was like, I want to go back and look at those rosters. And I saw Lou Marson on one of them, and I was like, we hyped him up so much, and I feel like he just fell off the face of the planet.
Yeah.
Like I was like trying to like look what happened, and just kind of fizzled out on the Indians. But yeah, we watched him a bunch in Reading, and I think he was like the reserve catcher or whatever on that 2008 roster. He was like catcher number 3 or whatever. But dude was a beast.
That's a name. That's a name.
Do you know
Yeah.
him, Ben?
The name sounds
Oh,
familiar.
really?
I don't think I was gonna guess him though.
No, I'm sorry. It was more of a chase.
No, that's fine. But that's cool. And if you guys haven't checked it out yet, just don't hesitate to listen to our previous episode with Sam. Some great content there, and it was a blast to have him on. So we'll definitely do that again.
Yo, watch on YouTube too. We did the Immaculate Grade, and it was a lot of fun. So
Yeah,
8 out of 9 for 4 baseball gurus, but we had fun doing it.
yeah. Lone misses. Spoiler alert, it was me. But all right, so let's get right into it. Championship series. We'll go NLCS first. Game 7, up 3-2. No, so tough. You guys were up 3-2, but it was a really competitive series. And I think when it come down to it, you just, the middle of the lineup just didn't really perform in those final 2 games. But I think, it's tough right now so soon. But I think if you were to have someone would have told you at the beginning of the season, you guys were going to make it to game 7 of the NLCS, and that's what your season was going to be like, you probably would have thought that was a successful year. I mean, the way it happened and the way who you played, you might obviously you want to go all the way. But it was still a successful year for the Phillies in general and something to build on.
Yeah, I'll defer to Chase.
And literally, as you brought it back up, my hands got immediately sweaty again. So just as when I thought I was really getting over it, I'm right back into it. But really tough series overall. And like you said, it wasn't a total loss of a year. I mean, the fact we made it into the playoffs, kicked out the Braves early, the way we did it, and just ran into a team that was really hot. And we should know a thing about that because we were that team last year. So overall, it's unfortunate because, like you said, the middle of the order died. Nick Castellanos had 1 hit this entire series. Johan Rojas had a higher batting average than Nick Castellanos to finish the series. And every time the Phillies had a chance to score with runners in scoring position, they failed to do so. Our pitching was up and down at points in the series, and you really wish that wasn't the case. And Craig Kimbrell blew a lead in a game. And I think from that point on, the series really shifted because it happened in Arizona. And you could just tell the team caught a spark right there, even though they were down 0-2 to start, losing both games in Philadelphia. Had that moment happen in Philly, maybe it goes a little different, but the fact they knew that they could get to us and they just had to get to our bullpen, I think was really their game plan. And having Merrill Kelly game 6, I would have bet that he would have been out by the second inning. We've seen him a lot. He pitched a lot this year too. He was in the World Baseball Classic, if you remember, representing Team USA, getting blown up in 3 or 4 innings. So that's what I expected from him at this point in the season. And he came out, pitched really well. They had a great game plan for our top hitters, Harper and Schwarber. They basically were just committed to not giving them anything and making everyone else do the damage. And it worked. And I think it put those guys in a funk because they knew they weren't going to see a lot of pitches. And then once they got the opportunity to see the pitches, they didn't do anything with them. So
there were a couple last night that Harper that he got pitches to hit in spots. Just missed it.
Especially, I forget what inning it was, but he got a pitch that 10 out of 10 times he crushes to right field somewhere.
It was like the first and second and the 7th or something, maybe.
Yeah, there was like two on, I think. I mean, it was a chance to tie it and go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I saw 1 for 28 between Schwarber, Turner, Castellanos, and Harper in the last 2 games, and that's just you can't really overcome that very well.
I mean, I really don't want to talk because I'm just going to honestly complain. And I'm a pretty optimistic fan, especially Philly fans. They can be bad. I'm pretty optimistic, I think. But one, they just kept trying to hit home runs. All of them. There was Citizens Bank Park smaller. I know it's a hitter's park, but it's October. The ball doesn't fly as well. And a couple of these just cleared the fences last year in the postseason, Harper, Castellanos, Real Muto, all hitting warning track. I mean, Schwarber is on second with nobody out. Just get him to third and get him home. You don't need to try to, I get it. But on top of them wanting to hit homers, they all just want to be the hero, right? They all want to hit. And the Diamondbacks were okay, well, they're all going to want to swing. So let's just start throwing some stuff outside. And Castellanos, one of the most aggressive hitters in the league. So I don't want to fault him too much because that's how he plays. But basically from top to bottom, the lineup was just swinging and swinging and swinging, and they were swinging for the fences. Flip to the other side, and it really pisses me off how much the analytics is magnified in the postseason. I don't know. I just feel like I know we talked about the managers don't have a ton. Everyone's just talking about starting pitchers being on leashes, and Suarez is a good pitcher. And he barely pitched his playoffs. They didn't use Taijuan Walker, which I still don't understand why. I get you get days off. Finally, they used Wheeler at the end of the game last night in the game 7 just to take him out so that Strom could give up another run. But that's besides the point because we're going to play this analytical game. But I don't know. They hype up the announcers, which Brian Anderson, please stick to the NBA next year. I don't want to wait for 7 games. Please.
Don't even get me started. If the World Series on TBS, I'm not watching any of the games. And it's not because I don't want to see the matchup. It's I listen to 7 games of Brian Anderson consistently tell me incorrect things about Nola being the power pitcher or Wheeler having the finesse.
Yeah.
I was like, Jesus Christ, dude. You're watching this game, right?
There were 2 games where I straight up listened on the radio to just Fransky and Larry Anderson. I was painting. We were painting some Chase, and I was I'm just listening to the radio. But yeah, they need to mix up. That's a separate issue. But they just kept hyping up this Phillies bullpen. I feel like Gregory Soto did nothing the entire series. I literally don't think he did anything. And everyone else, it was there's these amazing guys, but you're going to face 3 batters and then you're going to move on. And I'm just okay. I mean, the game 7 move, oh my goodness. The game 7 move to bring in Alvarado. First off, it's a right-hand heavy lineup. Second off, the first 2 guys he's facing are switch hitters. What was the move? And it's a lot easier said than done, but it's just Rob Thompson, he just pulls the trigger and pulls the trigger and pulls the trigger. I'm you're asking 7 guys to pitch a perfect inning. You can't we talked about it, Chase. You want your starter to go 7. Most teams nowadays will beef up and at least have 3 good bullpen guys, your 7th, 8th, and 9th. And that's what the Diamondbacks were able to use. And they each pitched a little more than an inning at times, but they were able to use those 3. it just seems like there was a carousel going on in the Phillies area with no trust in the starters and Ranger knowing he gives up a double, he's out. I'm just going off on a rant now. I shouldn't have started, but key takeaways, Rob Thompson. I mean, I wouldn't be mad if he doesn't come back. And just this analytical stuff needs to
no
go
way
away.
He's not coming back.
You think he does?
I mean, he just took the 2 years in the league. 2 years.
Yeah, but you don't
as a
think he'll
manager.
retire?
Has there been talk of him retiring?
I mean, he was supposed to retire last year before Girardi got fired. He was literally going to step down at the end of the year. That's why I'm like, maybe. I mean, also, I could just see the front office being like, hey, so hope you enjoy your retirement. And he's like, oh, okay. I guess I'm retiring now.
No, I know
there
Chase
hasn't been.
but
Yeah.
no, there hasn't been. But I don't know.
He's Captain Hook though, and I weathered it last year because he got us to the World Series. But this year though, I'm not a fan of it. Ranger does better in high pressure situations too. Literally, when they called him up, he was a closer, then he was a middle inning guy, then he was a starter. So he has the juice to do it. He has a lot of great pitches. And like you were saying, Ryan, they could have just went up those last 3 innings without a bat and got on base. Because it's why you just stand there and let work the count. I don't know what happened where they just decided that they're not going to do it. And on the flip side, I'll give it to the Diamondbacks. They swung at a lot of horrible pitches outside the zone and did a lot of damage with them. So, I mean, there was a lot of key points early in the series. Game 3, they did it a lot where they just pitches you wouldn't think that they would hit, they got a hold of, and it was just enough to squeak in the outfield, get a run in. Corbin Carroll, the rookie of the year, he heated up towards the end of the series too, and really get game 6 and 7. They were just in total control, and it felt like the Phillies were the ones who were down 3-1 in the series this entire game. I don't know what happened, but they just vanquished and got away from what brought them to the postseason, where they were going through opposing team starters and getting into the bullpen and then causing havoc because the teams don't know what to do if you're already going to their middle and high end leverage guys in the 7th inning. And that's what we were doing. So, props to the Diamondbacks. They obviously deserve to be in this spot. They were the better team. They managed all their stuff. They didn't freak out when they were down in the series at all. They went back to their fair weather fans and did a lot of damage at home. So, can't really be mad. We just didn't show up. And, I'm glad we made it at least back. And we made it farther than any other NL team. So, there's that too.
I just want to say shout out to MLB and how many less viewers they're going to get for this World Series because it's not Astros Phillies. So, congrats.
Yeah.
Have fun because I ain't watching. You think this World Series will have equally as many views as if?
What's different about the Astros versus the Rangers? Why do you think the Astros have more fans than the Rangers? Just because they've been good the last few years?
People root against them because they cheated.
They're both from Texas.
Brady always got a lot of views in the Super Bowl because everyone hated him.
Yeah.
The Diamondbacks, I'm sure they'll.
If the people of Phoenix aren't watching the Suns, I'm sure they'll pop on the Diamondbacks.
Philly fan right now.
Yeah. You think? Yeah, that's true. Yeah, you think this weekend are more people in Arizona going to be watching like the opening game of the Phoenix Suns over the Arizona Diamondbacks? There's probably plenty of people in Arizona that are going to be watching KD, Brad Beal, and Booker.
Beal's not even playing.
Well,
still home opener. That's a tough one, but I just 2 quick points on the Phillies, and then I'm good to talk about the other series if you guys want. But Wheeler and Brandon Marsh were the only 2 real bright spots this entire series. Wheeler just went out dominated. Really happy with him. Sucks he got pulled last night for no apparent reason. I feel like he would have been fine closing it out. And Brandon Marsh, he got benched early in the playoffs, and he was really the only one who was doing any kind of work on the offensive side. Had really good at bats, and we'll see where they go. There's a lot of questions to be answered. They have some free agency, things to work out, and possible trades with some of the controllable guys. So interesting offseason for both our squads, really.
Yeah, and Ben, I'm sorry, I don't mean to be this much of a sore Phillies fan, but I hope that Ginkle guy gets shelled out of his freaking mind. He is the biggest chunk on the face of this earth, and I would love to just see him get shelled in the World Series. And that's all I have to say about Ginkle.
Yeah,
I celebrated. No, just he just looks like a chunk. Like he looks like a tight end in football. It's like, oh, here goes TJ Hawkinson or Tunyon running around, and instead he's just tanking out of the bullpen like he's like Kane coming into a Royal Rumble match. I'm like, bro.
Yeah.
Who's the guy that used to run out with like breathing heavily, like looking like a tool from the bullpen? I don't do you know who I'm talking about? Did JT like rolled his eyes when he like
Oh, for the Phillies.
do you remember?
Oh, yeah.
I don't remember the guy's name, but like oh was it Jared Hughes?
Jared Hughes. Yeah.
He came out like super obnoxious and JT Bruno too was just like rolling his eyes. Like, oh.
Yeah. That's an amazing gif.
No,
one last thing. I will complain about the Phillies one more time because I never was a huge Kimbrel fan, and now I could care less if he goes. Why does he hold up his hand still? He's looking to JT to hear something in his ear. What is he
He
doing?
probably can't at this point. He's done it so long. He's probably not gonna change it.
Yeah. It's like
Probably
part of
gonna
his
retire in like 2 years anyway.
dumb mechanics. He should retire now.
He probably should retire now. Yeah.
After that World Series. Wow, I'm really giving them props. But after that series, but actually the whole playoffs, he was incredibly shaky.
He's probably trying to wait till Billy Wagner gets in the Hall of Fame and rack up like 30, 40 more saves in his career and then sneak in,
God.
which he probably would.
How many career saves does he have now? I
think he's top 10 of all time.
Yeah, we found that out when we did our closing thing.
Yeah, when we looked for our all-time.
I mean, he was really successful. I mean, I'll give it to him. He's made a ton of buttload of money. I'm sure he's not hurting for any kind of cash at this point in his career.
Craig Kimbrell's 8th all time on the saves list.
That's not bad.
He's only 5 behind Wagner, who probably is going to get in.
Oh, yeah, he's definitely coming back to get 5 more saves. Good luck to him and whichever team he scams on getting money from and attempting to get 5 saves from. I'm going to be interested, and I'll definitely tune in for all 5 of those matchups.
As long as it's not the Mets, I don't care.
Yeah. Hopefully it's not the Phillies either. God, I would be really disappointed.
But no, and then on the other side, you had Astros Rangers. Really good match about Altuve just raking 3 home runs away from the all-time home run list or leading the MLB, the all-time home run playoffs, which is crazy also.
I saw something going into the game, and I mean, I know Dusty Baker finally got over the hump last year, but I saw how Dusty never won a game 7 and Bochy's never lost.
Yeah.
And I'm
That's
just
intense.
like, it's crazy because I feel like more people know about Dusty Baker and like,
Oh, Bochy was the Giants.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
true.
Well,
true.
Dusty was also a really good player.
Okay, that probably helps, but
He's been in baseball for like,
yeah,
like, I don't know how, like 50, 60 years. He's been just like
91 years.
Bochy just gives me like that Bill Belichick vibe. Like, you do not want to play him. Like, he just, I don't even know what he's doing over there in the dugout, but
he's always scheming something.
Yeah.
What a great hire.
Yeah, that was a money move.
That by far. Is he going to win Coach of the Year?
Rangers, they've never won a World Series, right? I don't think the Rangers have ever won.
So,
they should have won, and then David Freese came.
You know what's going to suck, though? He's not going to get Manager of the Year because it's probably going to go to Brandon Hyde for taking the Orioles to like 101 season.
Yeah, you're right.
That's a good point.
And you know, it's a regular season award anyways, and having a World Series ring is much more important than being Coach of the Year.
Yeah.
I think the Rangers are going to win. Just I'm rooting for DeGrom, but it's kind of a little salty that he might get a ring with the Rangers after like not playing at all too, and him and Scherzer then getting traded and also getting a ring
and doing nothing in the playoffs.
Oh, Scherzer was garbage. Oh, Scherzer was okay. Trucking? He played games. He pitched game 7. He pitched game 4.
He gave up like 4 runs or 5 runs or something.
Yeah, he gave up 5 runs in like 3 or 4 innings, and they lost. But game 7, he gave up like 2 runs and 4 innings, but it was a blowout, so they won.
Also, everyone was making a big deal about the road team winning every game, but they both are in Texas. Like, was it really that much different besides the ballpark, like, and your players knowing it? But I'm sure like there were fans of both teams at both games. Like,
yeah,
I wonder, like, I feel like home field wasn't as much of a factor in general for them. And like, I mean, the Phillies and Arizona, they're going back and forth, 2-3 hour time differences, obviously, different parts of the country.
Was it
But
Arlington and Houston? Is that where the two play?
Yeah. Yeah, it was just weird though, because it's like you'd think the home team would at least get one win this entire
that's true.
series. Like it's really odd that like none of it was like no chance. Road team only.
Yeah, they're within 4 hours of each other. I'm sure.
That's
Like
not
I don't know.
bad. Yeah.
There's probably plenty
No.
of. I'm sure there's more Astros fans down there just because of their recent success. But I'm sure right now you're seeing like them Rangers fans come out of the woodworks.
I mean, if you're someone who had like some money or something, you stay like in the middle and just travel like a little under 2 hours to each park.
Yeah, I'm sure. I bet you there's people that went to like every game if they had the money,
Yeah.
just because.
Probably. Yeah. Because 4 hours is not that bad to go
No.
between.
Yeah. But so World Series, Rangers, D-backs, I agree the market there's not the big market for this
Yeah, I'm not
World
trying to be
Series.
sore. I'm just trying to state a fact.
But I don't think it's not going to be. I think it's still going to be pretty well received and watched because neither team is really hateable either. Like they're not super. There's not super hated teams with players that are
Except for
obnoxious.
Ginkel.
Okay, well that's it.
Yeah. That was also the problem with playing the Diamondbacks. I was like, I don't hate them, so it's like weird that I have to psych myself up to hate these
Oh
guys.
yeah, like if it was like the Braves in this spot, like
Oh yeah,
you like or even like I don't know the Dodgers. You can
literally anyone else who was in the playoffs, I would have been fine with piecing up. But it was just like the Diamondbacks. I was like, I don't know. I don't really hate I mean, I guess the person I like dislike the most on their team was like Ketel Marte, maybe, but I really just wanted them to make a bunch of errors.
Yeah.
Every
I was
time
like, I don't think he's that good of a fielder.
every time Evan Longoria came up, I just kept thinking about how Corey Lewis is a Rays fan because of Evan Longoria.
Longoria, yeah.
Just like what
That's-
the heck?
I kind of want him to win a ring. That's the only reason I might root for the Diamondbacks. I kind of want.
Yeah,
Longoria.
that's cool. He finally got revenge on the Phillies after all this time.
It is crazy from his rookie season till now. I mean, if he wins the World Series, if I was him, I would just retire. But
Yeah.
baseball, you can keep trucking for a minute. But
And he's probably not going to get in, but he's a borderline Hall of Famer. He's close. He's probably not quite there, but yeah, it'll be neat. Future Met or past Mets, Paul Sewald and Miguel Castro might get rings.
Actually, I think I hate Paul Sewald.
He was a Met 2 years ago. The Mets gave him away for not much at all to the Mariners. He wasn't that good.
I feel like the Mets give a lot of people away. Not that
He didn't do much for them.
Yeah. I think the Mariners kind of just fixed whatever he was doing.
Miguel
but-
Castro, I'm glad he's gone. He was I
Oh
don't even
yeah.
pitch much at all in the postseason. Probably shouldn't have.
He pitched like 4 innings, I think, and 3 of them were in like one game or something.
But any predictions before we go into the Saudi baseball league?
Rangers in 5.
I don't have one. I'll probably be. This is a whole. By the way, my fiance is getting in baseball now because of me, and this is a whole separate mess. But I'll probably be rooting for the Rangers because it's her second favorite team.
Okay.
Which, by the way, she has a top 4 right now. So
What's her top 4?
Yeah, what is the top 4?
So is Phillies ever since the deal are now 1. Okay.
Okay. Oh, all right.
Okay.
I like it.
Her old number 1 were the Astros that have now moved to the 4 spot. Okay.
All right.
So it goes Phillies, then Rangers, and that's because she realized that they play in Arlington. Being a Cowboys fan,
Their
Dak
stadium's like right next to the Cowboys stadium.
Yes. So now the Rangers have slid into number 2, which that's okay. The
Okay.
Orioles are the 3rd since we live near them and sometimes go to the games. And she likes saying,
Okay.
and the Stros are now 4. And at this point, her only reason is because she likes saying the Stros along
Okay.
with the O's.
All right.
So,
So 2 ALS teams.
yes. Yeah.
All right.
At the top 4.
Well, so it was a win-win for her then for the ALC.
Yeah, she had
no
3 of her
lose.
top 4 teams in the
Okay.
championship series.
It's not bad. It's pretty good. Where do the Sixers fall overall on the combined sports list?
They're definitely over the Phillies. She told me that basketball is her second favorite sport to watch. So
Okay,
I would
all right.
say second. I'm thinking it's got to go Cowboys, and then she probably cares about the Sixers the most after that. So I would say second
So
overall.
top 3. All right.
Yeah, top 3. Safe top 3.
Is there any hockey on this list?
Not yet, Chase, but it's coming. Don't worry.
All right. All right.
Flyers are definitely top 10, 100% chance.
All right. I was just worried about the Dallas Stars. I mean, they could sneak their way onto this list somehow.
I had a cousin on their minor league team for like 3 or 4 years, but that was 10 years ago, so they've fallen off my radar.
Okay.
They're pretty stout. They got some weapons, the Dallas Stars.
Probably a Dallas
Nice
Wings
jerseys.
fan then for WNBA.
Yeah,
Since Philly doesn't have a team.
okay, yeah, we can be Dallas Wings fans.
Okay.
All right, we can move on. What we got? Saudi baseball
Yeah.
that I called like 7 podcasts ago. Can you play that clip?
In case you guys don't know, Baseball United is what it's called. The national teams were finding out some new information on the
Wait, do they play in this, or are they just saying that's what they're?
Good question. So basically on their
I think they're just promoting them on this website.
I guess that's where they're getting some of their players from.
Yeah, I think that's
Although
Yes,
it's almost like this is like maybe part of the farm system where they can
they just
So
just
basically
kidnap people from countries and make them
Yeah.
play.
the base of their national teams are Afghanistan, Bangladesh, India, Nepal, Pakistan, Palestine, and Sri Lanka. They have 4 actual franchises in their Baseball United, and they just had a draft. So they have the Cobras, Monarchs, Wolves, and Falcons. So we're gonna just quickly go through the roster, kind of like if you guys have listened to a previous episode where we went over the big 3.
First of all, the Cobras and the Monarchs looks like the Diamondbacks and the Royals. And
I'm thinking this
Agreed.
Wolves team though. I like that.
you like that for a baseball team name?
The Wolves, yeah. The Monarchs are that was a Negro League team.
Yeah, I know. I was about to say.
All right, Cobras. Let's look into it.
Oh, cool video.
Honorary GM is Barry Larkin,
Okay.
and manager is Chris Sabo.
Oh
So
wait, it says they're the Mumbai Cobras, so they're in India.
Oh, where do you see that? Mumbai.
It just says it on their thing. Look.
Oh, the Mumbai Cobras. Okay, well,
Yeah.
Well, how much traveling are these teams going to have to do?
let's look at this. Look at
Is
this
that
roster.
Andrelton Simmons?
I believe it is.
Oh,
Infield.
Zach Ross Cup.
Andrelton Simmons in the infield. Shed Long,
Okay.
Cedio Clover, Brandon Laird, and Brantley Bell, who's from Pittsburgh.
Oh, I like how they have the top league. It shows on their website what the top league that these players
Yeah, that
have
they've
been
made
in.
it. Yep.
And a lot of MLB and
Yeah.
AAA.
Robbie Ross, I remember him. Zach Russup, interesting. I think Karan Patel, this guy, I think he was the number 1 overall pick. All right, let's take a look at the
So
next roster here.
Andrelton Simmons is the big
Yeah.
name.
Simmons is a big name. So, all right, Monarchs. Honorary
Adrian
GM.
Beltre.
Adrian Beltre,
What?
Miguel Tejada. As
Hey,
the
this is my
manager.
team.
This is a-
Are these guys really gonna live like in the middle, like just hours?
Where are the Monarchs based out of? Karachi.
Karachi.
I'll get Stack Eye on that.
That guy's gonna quickly see where
I
Karachi.
think that's
Pakistan.
Afghanistan. Oh, Pakistan. It was one of the stands.
There you go. All right.
I literally might have to root for this team because there's Beltre and Tejada on it.
And it's got Bartolo.
It's a 19-hour flight from here. Is Adrian Beltre literally flying like 20 hours to
I mean,
Pakistan?
He could fly.
I mean, if they're paying him a ton of money, I'm sure he's doing it.
Yeah, I don't even know if we can find like money, but so biggest pitcher here, we got Bartolo at 50 years old, just still trucking.
50-year-old Bartolo Colon.
Yeah.
Was he their top pick?
I don't know. We got an MPB guy here. That's kind of cool.
Oh, yeah.
An MPB guy.
Shingo Harada.
All right, so those are the pitchers, catchers. I don't know one of note. Drew Ward, Jeremy
Yeah.
Profar. That's Jerk.
Oh, yeah.
Brother.
Yeah.
Stephen Moya and Phil Irvin. Phil Irvin used to be a prospect with the Reds. He was a decent
Okay.
prospect. Stephen Moya used to be with the Nationals.
This totally just seems like a World Baseball Classic roster.
Yeah.
Just people are like, oh, yeah, I remember that guy.
All right, let's see what the Wolves.
Yeah, it's basically what we did all World's Baseball Classic.
Felix Hernandez is the honorary
this
GM. And John McLaren, manager
Oh, he's the China World Baseball Classic team. Oof.
and
What?
manager of the Mariners. This guy's been around.
What role does the honorary GM play? Like, how much power does Felix Hernandez have?
Also, this one just says Wolves. I don't see like a name. All right, well, let's see this roster. Well, I
This
think
is
I
the
already-
Robbie Cano one.
Jair
Tyre Churches, no way.
Oh, this might be my team.
Will and Rosario. And then this one has Didi
Didi.
and Cano up the
Oh my
middle.
gosh. It's
Oh,
the
yeah, this
old
is my
Yankees
team.
lineup. Hernan Perez. I think he
He's
just
only 33.
Oh, Courtney Hawkins. He used to be a White Sox prospect, and Dwight Smith Jr. was a Blue Jays guy. Okay.
it's a pretty good team. We
Yeah.
should look up the win totals for these teams and
Yeah. I don't know. What's the over under here?
yeah.
Yeah. All right. And last one
That's
is the
hype. They have Jair Jurgens on there.
I
That's
know.
so hype.
That's a
All right.
name.
We got Nick Swisher as the honorary GM
Look at
and
that picture.
Dennis and Dennis Cook. Head coach for Team Sweden. All right. Have they ever even been in a World Baseball Classic? I feel like not
Oh,
yet.
this is
All
the
right.
Pablo Sandoval team.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, we got another
Maybe
MPB
Hammer.
guy.
I was just gonna interrupt real quick. The Wolves are in Dubai.
Oh, okay.
All right.
What about the Falcons?
They're in Abu
Abu
Dhabi.
Dhabi.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
All right. Well, we got in the infield, we got obviously most notable Pablo Sandoval, but
yeah.
Alex Liddy.
Oh, Dahaza.
Dahaza and Castillo. Do you remember Castillo?
Yeah. It was
He
with
was-
the Red Sox, right?
Yeah,
At
he
some
was a
point?
Cuban dude with the Red Sox that was paid I think he got paid like 85 million out of Cuba.
What a deal. Who's at the top of this list? I didn't catch the names. Oh, the pitchers. I think
Oh, you
JD
didn't-
Hammer, I think he played with the Phillies at one point.
Okay.
Yeah, I remember JD Hammer.
Oh yeah, with those dumb
All the
glasses.
Specs.
That
Yeah.
was it. Just 2 years. He didn't even,
All right. Yeah, let's bring him back. I like that ERA.
not even that bad.
No, for 19 and 20 innings, that's not bad.
No.
So we're all hopping on the Wolves train though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Wolves, and then my second favorite's got to be the Monarchs.
I love Deaza. That's a name I haven't heard in a minute. What's he?
He's a good immaculate grid guy.
He hasn't even played baseball since 2017.
He was 33 in
These are the
2017.
Marlins, White Sox, Orioles, Red Sox, Giants, Mets, Nats.
Oh yeah, he's a great.
He's a great immaculate
Gotta
grid.
stash that one.
Oh,
And he's
he's
got
in a Twins picture. What the
Twins
hell?
picture where he's again never even played.
Oh, that might have been that one year with the where he got traded. He might have been
I
there
didn't-
for like half a season.
I didn't know when you click on their pic, it comes with different pictures with different teams.
I didn't know that either. Maybe that must have been an update.
So,
Oh, he's in a Nationals on it.
I just want to know how much
He only
Man.
played 2 years. That's insane. Oh, you can go to salaries.
where do you click on salaries?
It's right there under standard batting. See where it says Rusney Castillo overview?
Oh, look at that salary.
72.5 million.
Dude,
He was getting paid up until 2020, and he last played in 2016.
yeah, he got that big
What a
contract out of
beast.
Cuba. He's probably getting paid a boatload again. But interesting stuff right there. You know, it's fun to look at these
Pick
other
your
leagues.
favorite team, buy their gear, support
I
the
don't-
Saudi league. They're
I
struggling.
don't feel like you guys are like a lot saltier about the golf one. Are you not stressed right now with this?
Oh, I'm definitely stressed, but they're pulling the wool over my eyes by calling it Baseball United and drafting a bunch of players I used to love.
I'm not. I mean, they got 50-year-old Bartolo. I'm not too worried.
Yeah, that college guys, MPB guys.
Yeah.
Like, there's a way for them to like make money, especially if it's like a posting rule too, because they're just gonna take that money and put it right back into stuff.
Yeah. So we'll see. Right now I'm not worried about it, but I guess
Something to monitor.
yeah, I think it's worth monitoring.
Yeah. So we're also gonna play a Saudi baseball fantasy league.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I don't have a problem with like there being more leagues and diversity. Like the XFL is like cool, and that stuff I think is good. Like it's good for these leagues to have competition, but I just feel like the Saudi Golf League was just unhealthy. Like Live Golf, I feel like was just an unhealthy like add to the game of golf.
Still trucking.
And that's what I'm fearful of, is it cutting into how great of the game baseball is. And obviously the MLB is the best. Like we talk about the KBO and the Japanese league all the time, and they're cool leagues and it's good competitiveness for the MLB, but I don't need the Saudi just like trying to merge and ruin everything.
Yeah. I mean, they could also start buying up other international leagues too. Like, what if they bought the independent league or something like that?
That's true. Or they
And
might, yeah, they could, and then they
Yeah.
final people. Yep. No, it's worth monitoring. It's not a threat now, but you never know how that plays out for the future. But enough baseball. We talked a lot of baseball.
Oh my gosh, we talked like so much baseball.
So much baseball, and I love it. But we got to talk a little bit NBA because we have a bunch of games tonight, and then a couple games last night. But I mean, season's here.
Chase, what's the deal with Harden? Can you catch me up to speed? I've been trying to block it out as much as possible. Ben was saying it wasn't all on Harden. Like, what's your take? Is he just pulling a Ben Simmons? Is he like is some of it like on Morey and in the organization or?
Yeah, I feel like it's kind of the middle. And obviously Morey made him promises that he didn't uphold, and Harden feels wronged by that. But at the same time, I look at all the teams that would potentially trade for Harden, just the Clippers, and I feel like he's still, if he wants to win a championship, it's his best odds are still with Philly.
Yeah, the what I heard, and there's been a bunch of articles on it, so I think that there's some truth to it. I don't know if you heard it all, Chase, but he was pretty salty at the Kelly Oubre signing.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So
they hate each other.
So Harden's girlfriend, I think it was like 2019, cheated on him with Kelly Oubre, and then they married. Kelly Oubre married the girl, Harden's ex, like 2 years later, which is now his wife. But she cheated on Harden with Oubre.
That's hilarious.
And so Morey like signed him, and he was like even more pissed. So that's one of the things I heard.
I could see that. I mean, he also did take less money to come back, and then I think Morey said he would give him more money, and he didn't. And then he just gave it to Kelly Oubre. That's kind of hilarious. That's actually an awesome move.
But I've seen stuff, and I've seen a few articles, so I don't 100% know that it's true, but it does seem like there's some.
That's probably true.
So
I'm just salty because I feel like it's such a players' league, which I'm completely fine with, but the Sixers just keep like getting themselves in these horrible situations. Like Ben Simmons just took a poop, puts them in a really bad situation. I never even won Harden, but like if Simmons isn't playing, you have no leverage. So then you do the 1-for-1, and now it's basically like Harden just turns around and does what Ben Simmons did. And I hate there's enough off-court drama with social media and fan bases already. The one thing I will say, regardless of what happened, is everyone for like 5 years has been saying like, oh, Embiid's going to leave, and he's played 5 years. So at this point, I'm just riding the high and enjoying the Embiid show and hoping that Maxey just completely pops off this year.
what are your thoughts on a rumor with Embiid to the Knicks? There's
yeah.
Do you see that?
Yeah.
So the hypothetical trade was that the Knicks are willing to offer a package that included 2 to 3 first-round picks, Julius Randle, R.J. Barrett, Fournier, and Mitchell Robinson.
No.
Yeah, first off, Keith Pompey, the Sixers reporter, definitely just an NBA shill, also a Knicks shill, should just be traded to the Knicks. First off, because I feel like he just always does this to Embiid and just says how the Sixers should trade him and stuff like that. So if it wasn't coming from him, I'd probably believe this a little bit more. I'm not saying that.
I don't think it's true at all. I'm just wondering if you guys would do it. I don't think there's any.
Yeah, and no, I wouldn't do it. Not that I don't. I think it's actually like a decent deal, as long and especially if the picks were unprotected, I would probably just be like, you have to do it in a way. But I don't think it makes us any better. And
no, I don't blame you. I mean, I'd be happy because I want Randall off the team.
Yeah,
well, that's all. I don't want Randall on the team.
Like I bet you tonight, I don't even know the stats. I bet you he's shooting like 3 for 10, and is like in the first half.
The NBA is just starting. We should be excited. We were excited when baseball started.
Yeah,
there's just so much more.
Well, you got another super team too. I mean, that's a ridiculous. If all 3 stay healthy, they may not win, but I mean that's a ridiculous. You're gonna have your third perimeter guy regarding like Brad Beal. Like that's kind of nuts.
I'm trying to just figure out like the NBA because it is. I don't know. They just need to expand, in my opinion. Like rosters are already so small.
They talked about that actually this week. I saw they had looking to expand to 32. And
I mean, the MLB should too.
They had Vegas and Seattle as the 2 preferred destinations for the 2 teams.
I could see that.
There's already not enough opportunities for basketball players. I mean, rosters are smaller and there's nowhere near.
I'd love to have another round of the draft or something. That'd be cool. there's a lot of guys that you see get undrafted and make it to the NBA because, like you said, it's so
Yeah.
shallow. And then they could expand some of the G League and all that more too.
We've never really chased. You probably followed the expansion draft in hockey the last couple of years, but I've never really experienced one up close where like you can take players from other leagues. That would be really interesting in the in the NBA. It'd be really
Yeah. Well, and it's in hockey, it's worked out really well too because and like NHL contracts are dumb. And so these new expansion teams get a crack at least getting 1 to 2, possibly even 3 good players just because of their contract. And literally nothing else was wrong with them. Plus, they don't have any salary cap penalties. So like they've been able to come in, get really good talent, and then go into free agency and get people like Vegas. I mean, they've won the cup and they've been and they've won it twice and they've been in existence for like 5 years, I think, or
That's true.
something.
Didn't they get to like close to the Stanley Cup in their first year?
Yeah, I think they went to the Stanley Cup.
yeah. They
That's
I
win.
don't
great.
think they
Yeah.
won, but they won this year. So, and Seattle, they got a lot of good people. They were a little bit down this year because of like injuries and a couple prospects and stuff like that. But so it's worked out really well for the NHL to like expand, and now those teams are immediately competitive. It's not like they're really bad in any way, or they're just taking aging guys. Like they were almost taking some people just for contract purposes, but the way they set it up, like the expansion rules, it could be easily done in every other sport and work out that the expansion teams would be good right away. And especially because they don't have any financial penalties at all. Like all the teams now, like Boston, Philly, like they're always handicapped in a way because they still have good people, but they also incurred a lot of debt by trading people away or people that got hurt that they signed to. So
Dead weight. Yeah.
yeah, so it's really interesting, like how it actually has shaken out for them. Like I don't think anyone would have expected that.
I'm just trying to think of spicing it up. I mean, the NHL now has 32 teams. Obviously, works in the NFL, but if 32 teams can work in the NHL, like NBA and MLB, like, come on, let's just do it. Just give more players opportunities to play. And I think the NBA, there's just so much raw talent already. If you can like spread it out a little bit more on 2 more teams, I think will help with a lot of this drama. Oh, so Stack, I just pulled up that they're expected to, once they get through all the agreements and everything, they will be expanding to 32 teams, which is kind of crazy because I honestly had no idea. It's just kind of like this mess with, and I love that it's a players league.
It'll probably take a little while to still get the teams,
but still, yeah.
yeah,
I mean,
but that'd be cool.
Yeah, but like Vegas already has an arena, so like all they have to do is just hire people to run the team.
Yeah. I mean, and Seattle should have never had a team leave anyway.
Yeah, they should have done the move like the NFL did, where the Browns left to become the Ravens, and the NFL was like, "Well, we need the Browns there still because they're historical," and they just put them back.
Is there is there like something or maybe as to why Seattle left and chose Oklahoma City?
I think it was all just because of
Like
I think it came down to like a stadium agreement. Like I
just
don't know if Seattle was gonna like willing to put
okay.
up as much money, and Oklahoma City was like, "Here, we'll give you $200 million stadium that's gonna be funded by the taxpayers," and they were probably like, "Yes."
It's just a wild like destination out of all like sports areas. Out of any
I
area.
know. Yeah, like Oklahoma City, they don't have any other professional teams, do they?
no, it
No.
doesn't even feel like a sports town. Like I feel like I think of Oklahoma, and I think of college football, and that's it. Like literally,
Yeah,
that's it. And
and where
then,
they have the college baseball World Series, isn't that in Oklahoma City or something?
oh yeah,
I mean, I guess you think of like Memphis too. Like when we were in Memphis, the only stadium in Memphis. I mean, you have the Cardinals AAA or AA, but then you just have the Grizzlies, and that's it. And then the Titans are in Nashville, which is like 3-4 hours the opposite end of the state.
Yeah, Nashville could definitely have a baseball team. They already have hockey and
Yeah,
football,
I
so it
saw that
makes sense.
they
Yeah,
might be looking at for baseball. That'd be cool. That'd be a cool spot for
yeah.
a baseball team.
yeah, I think it would do well there. And Dave Dombrowski, before he came to the Phillies, he was working on the Nashville expansion project, whatever
Yeah.
that is called. But
I
yeah,
think
there was
I think if I
yeah.
see 2 expansion teams, I'd love to see Nashville, and I'd like to see like Montreal again, or like bring like a Vancouver team, something like that.
Yeah. Plus Nashville's a hot spot because of all the college baseball there. And Mookie Betts is from Nashville. So like they
True.
have talent. Like I could see Mookie being like, Yeah, Dodgers trade me to Nashville right now.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and in state, you got you got Memphis, Tennessee, like these big colleges that produce. I mean, Tennessee's
Yeah.
always baseball
I don't
team.
know where I think is Vanderbilt in Tennessee,
Oh my
It's in
gosh.
right?
Nashville.
Hey.
Yeah. So that's why I was like, just Vanderbilt alone. I mean, they're a top 5 college
I
baseball
forgot
team
about
every single year.
that. I forgot about Vanderbilt. That's a brick on our part, on my part.
But I mean, it would baseball makes so much sense there,
Yeah.
especially professionally.
Yeah, I mean, just some notable athletes like Mookie Betts, R.A. Dickey, Sonny Gray, Noodles Hahn.
Oh yeah, Noodles on. Yeah.
I like this. This is so much better than talking about
Pretzel gets in. That was his name.
Yeah, Pretzel gets in.
He was a baller in the 1800s. This guy's name is Phenomenal Smith.
I love the ones with the question mark after it.
That's true. What
Billy
happened?
Smith question mark.
Does it say what the question mark? That's like a artist
That-
depiction. There's not even an
yeah.
actual.
Looks like a
know if he actually like. Do they not know the player and they're like guessing his name?
he was
I
a
don't-
baseball player and also a Western outlaw. That's
played
his-
9 games 1 year in 1886. Do they? So they're just not sure. They don't know. Larry Twitchell. I love it.
I also love how like they lived for like 40 years. Like that was it. And 30 of it was just playing baseball.
No, this dude lived till 68. That's
Yeah,
not.
he's a pretzels. He was healthy. He made it out. But
Oh,
there's some other guys where I was just looking, I was like, this guy literally ended his baseball career and died the next day.
Honestly, though, he died at a good time because he was a German dude that got out before World War II. Like that's a
Oh
win.
yeah. Yeah, his kids were screwed on that
yeah,
one.
they didn't do well with that one.
Pop Smith.
It's-
Oh, look at that picture.
that is a great
Yo, that
picture.
looks like Aaron
Oh,
Rodgers.
he has multiple. He has multiple pictures.
Oh.
This is the second one. Oh, look at that.
What am I not?
Dude, he must have been a detective and he must have moonlit as a detective when he wasn't
Canada.
playing baseball.
Look at this guy, 18 and 42 with 5.
Oh my
117.
gosh. What? He was literally just a starting pitcher, and the other guy was just a reliever.
That's the dude pitch every game.
That's amazing. He had 42 losses. Oh my god.
To pick that, yeah, but look at his ERA. It's a 2.14.
Oh, dude, he was cranking.
He had
This is
58
the
complete games.
this is
Wait,
the
how many-
analytics I want. Just 2 pitchers.
He had 58
Yeah,
complete
but he had
games.
62 total games and 58 were complete.
What?
He should be a Hall of Famer, right? Come on. Look at his record though, for as bad of a season that was. Pretty solid stuff.
Oh my god.
Dude was just dominating.
Oh, just a couple 43 win seasons, you know.
Just a 680 inning pitched year. No big deal.
Oh, you know what? I think this is how we ended up on that list. We were trying to see how many innings pitched there was in a season, I think.
Oh, like the most ever?
Yeah, because
Okay.
we came across it was like on the main screen. We just clicked on someone and then we're like, same thing. He had like 800 innings pitched that one year.
Oh
I
yeah.
saw
Oh, it's
Oh my
literally
gosh.
him.
It's the
This is the
list.
list. This is the list. Look at these names. Pud Galvin, Old Hoss Raubert.
Wait, was Pretzels on here?
He has to be.
Oh yep, he's
Yeah,
there.
he is.
This
Yo,
how
this
we
is the
got here.
list. Oh my god, I'm so glad we found it. This was worth it. This was a worth it deep dive out of nowhere.
But that's
Look at
insane.
these
So,
names.
so he got top 13, all over 600 innings pitched.
Who's number 7?
Old Hoss
Old
Radburn.
Hoss
Yeah, dude.
Radburn.
Of course, you guys have clicked him
What a
before.
name. Look at his picture.
Oh, he's a Hall
Look
of
at that
Famer.
guy.
Look at
You
this.
think he-
60 is this the most dominant pitching season ever? Look at this. 60 and 12 with a 1.38.
Oh my gosh.
And he led the league with
66
600
complete game. Oh wait, 73
There's-
complete games.
yeah,
No, yeah,
70
there. Here I just highlighted the stat line.
And he somehow had a save in there. He had 73 complete games and a save. What
I
is
literally
that?
love how all the pictures are just no one from this generation.
So what they just need to do, they need to have guys just throwing 60 and being out there the whole game.
I don't know how to
Of
do
course,
it.
Mariano's in there. Look at it's just all these old guys and then Mariano Rivera.
It's literally only black and white pictures.
Smokey Joe Wood.
Oh, Mordecai Brown. That guy had 3 fingers. I just saw a thing about him.
Oh, really?
Number 6. Yeah, he had like 3 sausage link fingers.
He's a
I have
Hall
no
of
idea what happened to
So he just only could throw a fork ball.
Oh my gosh.
Wait, he didn't have his pointer finger and he pitched?
Could you imagine having him and Antonio Alfonseca on a team? You have a 3-finger guy and a 6-finger guy.
I knew you were going to say that. What the heck?
Basically had a wicked curveball because of his misshapen fingers.
How did he lose his finger? Oh, a childhood
Uh,
accident?
Age 5 years old, he got his right index finger caught in a machine designed to separate grain from stalks and husks.
Oh my God, such an old-timey injury. I
The
think that's what
next
happened to
year
my
he-
grandma too. She like blew off her index finger on like a
Wait, look at this. So he said it says a digit was sliced off, only leaving a stump. And the next year, he damaged the hand again in a fall, breaking the remaining fingers. The bones healed, but the fingers were left.
Oh my God.
So dude was
That
throwing
is awful.
some wicked downward pitches.
I mean, just outside of getting your hand bitten off by like an alligator or a shark, that's the most badass thing ever.
All right, guys. Well, if you all are listening at this point, we really appreciate it. We kind of did a really deep dive there into some old time baseball players, but you know what? That's kind of what we do sometimes. Kind of just go down the rabbit hole, and sometimes we never come out.
That was
You know?
the deepest.
Yeah.
That was like a rabbit hole that was inside of a groundhog hole.
Yeah.
Like it was in there.
Yeah, we were just Alice in Wonderland. We just kept going through the door and getting smaller and smaller and smaller.
Yeah, no, that was fun. But quick announcements for the podcast. We are planning a live show for episode 40. If you don't know, it's episode 37. So stay tuned, couple weeks. And again, if you haven't listened to our last episode with Sam, Iron Pigs announcer, highly recommend it. Some great content in there. And if you haven't already, follow us on Instagram, Spotify, Twitter, YouTube. Subscribe there. We're posting everything reels. So we really appreciate it if you're listening. And I think we're gonna close out the podcast here.
You should play that song, I Will Remember You by Sarah McLachlan, just for the Phillies. Rest in peace. I will remember you.
You can let us out, Chase.
Will you remember me?
See you guys.
Don't let your life pass you by.